Shalom and welcome to all my brothers and sisters. I apologize for the delay. I welcome all newcomers, anyone who's here for the first time. Thank you for coming to this video. I hope you'll subscribe. We have many topics on my channel, and there'll be many more, God willing, Elohim willing. Today we're going to speak about the giants. What are giants in Tanakh? Is there any such thing as giants? Where do they come from? Who are the descendants of what we would call giants in Tanakh? We're going to be exploring this subject and a little bit more clues into another video I'm going to do soon about two different creations, which answers a lot in the subject of Bereshit chapter 1 and Bereshit chapter 2, where I believe it makes more sense to understand, based on the context, that there were two separate creations. I do not follow the consensus that there was only one creation, but that's for another subject. I will make a video on that very soon. Where do giants come from? Let's get down to it. There are three Hebrew words which, according to the description given in Torah, basically symbolize what we would call giants: Anakim, Raphaim, and Nephilim. Sometimes a simple descriptive word is used, meaning mighty ones. This is also a description used for when speaking about these giants or mighty men. Let's look at some examples from Tanakh itself. Let's get to the bottom. Where do they come from? Yehoshua, Joshua, chapter 15, verse 14. What do we read there? And Caleb drove out there the three sons of Anak. Remember that name, Anak, because it's going to come up. We're going to tie this together. Anak, Shishai, and Achiman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. Now, who are the children of Anak? Let's read the description from the words of the Israelite spies. This is in Numbers, chapter 13, verse 33. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who are descendants of the Nephilim. And we were in their sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. Now, we often will, when reading the Torah, we will pass by a passage like that and just read right through it. But if we stop, again, this is why studying carefully is so important. Stop rushing to just be on a race to read through the whole Tanakh. Stop rushing and focus. Okay? This will make you set apart from others who read Torah like this. I can memorize passage, but no, stop it. Stop. Study carefully, slowly, and take in the gems and little crumbs, savory crumbs, in every single verse that Torah gives you. Let's take a look here. We're in their own sight as grasshoppers. Now, of all the things that they could have been described as, they chose a grasshopper. Now, think about it when you stand up. Let's just imagine you're in your front lawn, and you look down, and you see a grasshopper right in front of you. This is the description that he's using, that they're using. We were in their sight as grasshoppers. That's pretty big. I mean, if you really think about it, let's be serious here. He is describing that they appeared as grasshoppers of all the animals they could have mentioned. Why a bug? These were huge individuals. He had to be huge. Huge individuals. And it says, to make it clear, it repeats. Not repeats, but basically says, and even to them, we were as grasshoppers. So it's not just some statement made on a whim, just to make you, figurative term. It's not figurative. It said, we were in their sight as grasshoppers, and so we to them. Let's keep going. On the word Rephaim, describing the giants, here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 11. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnants of the Rephaim. Behold, his bed was made of iron. Is it not in the city of Rabbah, of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, according to the cubit of a man. Now, I suggest that you write all these verses down so you can study this for yourself. Also, I will put a link below to the studies that I did on this, and you can look at the verses for yourself too. The size mentioned here would basically equivalent to 9 feet tall. In cubit length, in today's understanding, would be a total of 9 feet tall. This is just one individual. Okay, this is a king. This doesn't mean they were all that size. They could have been bigger beyond that. This is just one of the groups. But look at this. 9 feet tall. Now again, let's not forget as well that in the time of the Torah, whether you believe it or not, the Torah describes very clear that there was very, very, very long lives living at that time. They lived a long, long time. So it could have got bigger and bigger and bigger. Who knows? Another famous example of a giant is given in the book of Samuel chapter 1, or 1 Samuel, which spells out the exact height of this giant. And a fighter came out from the tents of the Philistines named Goliath, the famous Goliath of the David and Goliath battle, of Gath. He was more than 6 cubits tall. And what is 6 cubits tall? It is exactly 9 feet. This is from 1 Samuel chapter 1 verses 7. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 4. Excuse me. Same size as the one mentioned before. His bed size, 9 feet tall. Huge individuals. Huge. And that's not all either. Here we go. And all the men of Israel, when they saw sight of him, went in flight, overcome with fear. This is also in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 24. Before we continue into the book of Genesis, let's clarify the territory where this Torah story encounters giants so far. Hebron is one place, and Philistine are in the land of Canaan, and kingdom of the king Og is an Amorite territory, which is Cush. Now we are ready to continue our detective investigation, so to speak, into the book of Bereshit to find out where these Nephilim and Anakim come from. Where do we find this? It's not hard to find. It's in Bereshit, Genesis chapter 10, verses 8 through 9. And Cush was father of Nimrod, who was the first mighty men on earth, or giants. He was a mighty hunter before Yehovah. So that there is a saying, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Yehovah. Well, now we know that the giants are descendants of Nimrod. And we know that he is the son of Cush. Who is Cush? And the sons of Ham, this is the what is today the African race, or the black race, Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Genesis chapter 10, verse 6. Now we know that Nimrod and giants after him came from Ham. But there is more, because Ham did not bring about only the descendants of Cush, but other descendants as well. Remember, we found earlier the locations where giants lived, Canaan and Cush. Well, we just learned about both. Cush and Canaan are sons of Ham. You probably already know who Ham is. We find in Genesis chapter 9, verses 18 through 19. And the sons of Noah that went forth from the ark were Shem, this would end up being Israel, and Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and these was the whole earth overspread. This is in Genesis chapter 9, verses 18 through 19. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were born sons after the flood. This is in Genesis chapter 10, verse 1. Since Ham, son of Noah, is not described as a giant, then the pointer points to right, his wife, as it takes two to have descendants. We know this. Who is she? Here is the detailed answer. Can we find it? Yes, we can. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. The Nephilim were on earth in those days, and also after that. When the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, this is where the whole falling angel nonsense comes from. It's not true. The daughters of men. See, this is where the two creations come in. This is for my next video. The daughters of men and the sons of God, which was the first creation, these mighty creation creatures here. Okay? And they bore children to them. The same were the mighty men that were of old, the men of renown or fame, famous for their size. This is in Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. To understand the meaning of this sentence, we need to understand the difference between sons of God and daughters of men. Okay? So, again, this is in another video. I'll explain even deeper meaning to this. All right. There are two creations. This is going to be another video, which I will do very shortly, if not the next one. This makes Adam not simply the first human, but the first human of a new type of human, having significant difference from any previous humans, sons of God, which is mentioned in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27. These are different creations. Now, if you don't agree with this, it's fine. You don't have to agree with this. But this is how I make more sense of the Torah passages, which were never clear throughout history and were always argued upon. Genesis chapter 1, verse 7 says, He breathed into his nostrils, meaning Adam, the breath of life. This was different than the creation, the first creation. And man became a living soul. Now we know everything about giants and their origin. Let's recoup what we have read from the above passages here that I mentioned. There was a creation before Adam and Eve. This is my belief. I will go into more detail in another video. And there was also a second creation of Adam and Eve as well. So we do have, basically, here's the point here. Sons of Adam and Eve took some of the daughters of those pre-existing beings, okay, as wives, which is the very reason why God came up with destruction of all earthly life with the flood, not because of that, but because of the evil that was caused by these mighty men who, of course, because of their size and stature, would, of course, use that as all creation does in a corrupt way. Where there is power, there is corruption. It's very easy to find. The wife of Ham was daughter of the Nephilim, the giants, period. They gave birth to Cush and Canaan. These two, their sons, could be traced to be fathers of the giants. Cush to the giants among Amorites, King Og and Canaan to the giants of Anakim, of Hebron. Also, Torah explicitly names the first mighty giant born after flood, Nimrod, born to his father Cush, son of Ham. So now we can trace the giants' DNA in this sequence. First, giants were the first beings created. Period. Now, the wife of Ham, Noah's son, daughter of the giants, saved in Noah's ark. Ham's sons, Cush and Canaan, Nimrod, the first giant born after the flood, King Og, Anakim of Hebron, etc., all being children of Cush and Canaan. And the rest is history. I hope you enjoyed this short snippet of I have a longer video on this subject called Giants and Fallen Angels. I hope you enjoyed getting an understanding of the giants of Scripture. Take care. Shalom.